Well, hey everybody. I thought what I'd do today is show you just how I gather my sap. So we're standing here in this grove of sugar maples. It's pretty packed. You can see the barn in the background. This is probably the highest density. And these are all hanging tree buckets. And I do have a couple in the back here that are the white buckets with tubes. So just kind of show you how I go around and collect. I got 50 this year, which is a challenge. This will be the last year that I collect 50 gallons out of a bucket. Got to look for some kind of tubing, something to make my life a little bit easier. But for now, that's what we got, so that's what we're going to do. So I try to kind of work in a systematic way so that I don't miss any. You miss a bucket of sap, it's not the end of the world. And then so in this case, I'm starting at the one end of the patch, and I'll go over here next. And then this is a little bit of a creek, maybe you can see it. And I'll stay on one side of the creek until I get them all empty, and then I'll go over the other side of the creek. That way I don't forget where I've been or do a lot of backtracking. Try to be efficient with my time because there's just not much of it. All right, so we got the first 23 tapped. We got about 20 gallons of sap total. Not every bucket's full. I've got another 5 up and to my right that I'll try to see if I can squeeze into these buckets, and then we'll go do the ones in the back. That took about 20 minutes in real time. So we got the first 28 done out in the field, and the buckets are full on the pickup. So before I can go get the other 22, I need to empty. And I have these 55-gallon drums. They formerly held coconut cream. So they're food grade, been rinsed out very well. Used them last year too. And what I'll do is I'll just keep going and emptying the buckets off the trees, and I'll bring them in. I've got a total of 3 of these drums ready to go. Let's see what I get. The first batch that I got was more towards the center in front of the property. The ones that I have left now are much more dense in their location, so I'm not going to drive the truck like I did before. I'll just go out and take a couple buckets, and when I get the buckets full, I'm close enough, I'll just walk them back and keep dumping them in there, and we'll see what we get. Well, we just ended up with just about 55 gallons, just a little bit over 55 gallons, and you can see it's right there at 2%, which is pretty much average. So now we'll hook up the RO, and we'll turn this 55 into about half of that. So the drum's full, and got 3 gallons in that bucket there. So we'll start the RO here. I'll talk that just over briefly. So we've got the machine started, and we have the needle valve open all the way, and that let the pump pick up prime, and you can see nothing really flowing out of the blue line. That would be the pure water, and nothing, everything's kind of flowing out of the red line. So what I need to start doing is choking down the red line once a week somewhere. Or is it just the flow of liquid? Okay. Well, nothing's actively leaking. So you might have heard the pump change pitch. And if you look here, you see that we do have a little bit more flowing out of the blue line. Pretty obvious. We're still flowing more out of the red, even though it's a smaller diameter. But the way to tell is I just do this real simple measurement obviously the red line's flowing out more. So that tells me we can pinch it down even further to remove more sugar. Since this is a night that I'm not boiling on, I don't have to go maximum speed, but I do like to try to be efficient. So here we go again. Not perfect, I kind of messed that one up a little bit. You see we're still faster on the concentrate. Less, you know, it's about not quite half pure to one concentrate. So we'll dial it down a little bit further. Lets you get more sugar and pure water separated. Here we go. Okay, a little bit better than half, probably 2/3. Is a little bit faster than your pure water. You never want your pure water to outrun your concentrated sap. This will be our last time. It's hard to do by yourself. Sometimes my kids come out and help me, and that's really nice. But they're busy. I get it. Okay, that's a little bit more along the lines of what I wanted. You see that the pure is almost full. The sweet is not quite. So, one thing I added to my RO this year was this low pressure shutoff switch. So it's wired into the pump, and there's a spring that pushes on a bladder when the liquid pressure is in the line. If it loses pressure, it allows the spring to break contact and it shuts the pump off. So I'm actually going to walk away from this pump for the first time with 55 gallons. It's a couple hours, but I don't even have to worry about it. I can walk away from this pump, and if it runs out of sap, you already see we took out a few gallons of water because I put the other bucket in, and we're full. But I can run out of sap. I can have a leak, which would be unfortunate, but in the past the pump would keep on trucking. This way, if I run out of sap or if I spring a leak on my system, it shuts itself off. So that was just a quick video of how I gather my sap and how I store it in the drums. Used to store it in buckets when I had to take it back forth into the house before I had power out here. So I've got power out here now and I can run the machine. Can't leave it out here because we're still not heated. But I can run the RO now. I can walk away from it thanks to the pressure switch. And I've got it recirculating into the first drum. Had 55 gallons of sap. Because I'm going to let it sit and circulate while I go to this meeting, I'm going to probably end up with somewhere in the neighborhood of 25-ish gallons would be great. My stove here, from lighting the match to putting it away, I average 10 gallons a minute. Burns faster than that when you're out there cooking it with the fire and you're stoking it, but I count how fast I go through sap from the time I start to the time I end. I'll do another video on that. That's the first year with that WF Mason 2x4 pan. Life changer. But check out my shirt. My mother-in-law made this for me. Yes, these are my bees. This is my honey. So look for more beekeeping videos as maple season winds down. We're probably about halfway through maple season, and we're knocking on the edge of springtime here in northern Ohio, and we'll be into the bees here pretty quick. So if you got any tips or tricks to gather sap faster, more efficiently, I am looking at tubing. If you've got any experience with that, give me some tips and pointers. Other than that, thumbs up, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Hope you found it useful.